tens of thousands of demonstrators on the streets of Israel in the largest anti-government protest since the war in Gaza began. Their message was clear: that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu resign and elections be held immediately.
So what I'm doing here is trying to change the government, because this government is a complete and utter failure, and the only way they will lead us into the abyss that we will never come out of.
Police on foot and mounted on horseback deployed water cannons and arrested demonstrators in the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, calling for the release of the nearly 130 Israeli hostages believed to remain in Gaza, held by Hamas militants, who were behind the multiple attacks on Israel in October last year. As negotiations stall, the families of the hostages have had enough.
כבר מזמן אמרתי שראש הממשלה החליט לוותר על החטופים. הוא לא מגיע לשום עסקה. גם אם יש היתכנות לעסקה על פי גורמי הביטחון, הוא מונע, הוא מכשול, וכל עוד הוא עומד בדרך למפגש שלי עם מתן, אני אעמוד בינו לבין הממשלה, הוא ילך הביתה.
In a televised speech, Netanyahu said Israel was ready to attack the southern Gaza city of Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are currently sheltered, ignoring a UN Security Council resolution for an immediate ceasefire. To the families of the hostages, Netanyahu said he understood their pain, but elections now would be worse for Israel.
הקריאות לבחירות עכשיו, בעיצומה של המלחמה, רגע לפני הניצחון, ישתקו את ישראל במשך לפחות חצי שנה, להערכתי 8 חודשים. הם ישתקו את המשא ומתן לשחרור חטופינו, הם יביאו לסיום המלחמה לפני השלמת יעדיה. והראשון שיברך על כך יהיה החמאס, וזה אומר הכל.
Israel's assault on Gaza began 5 months ago, after Hamas militants killed 1,200 people and took 250 hostages. The retaliation has killed more than 32,000 Palestinians in Gaza. Israel is facing global backlash and accusations of genocide. And internally, criticism of Netanyahu is rekindling anti-government sentiment.
Our Prime Minister is still under threat of going to jail because of a fraud and breach of trust. And he's going to do anything to stay in power so that he won't go to jail. And this includes prolonging this war, neglecting the hostages so that the war will not end.
Compounded by a new military draft bill, a rift has formed in Israel's government. As Israel prepares to attack Rafah, millions of people are at risk, and the calls for Netanyahu to resign have tens of thousands of demonstrators back on the streets of Israel. Chen and Herel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.